Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Before you get it, baby, show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. You walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight. Ooh, show me your soul, baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Can't you see it's way past time? How explicit do I have to be? I mean, I spell it out before you get it, baby. Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine.
Last day of June, June 30th. Welcome to today's installment, the last one for June. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. Oh, what a wonderful Pride month it has been. Petey the Pride Bear is here. I'm gonna move this back down. I like it like that. I like it like that. Dun, 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 dun. I like it like that. I got all these music pieces in my mind, all these songs, because I've been making our travel playlist. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. As Brian and I, my husband, hit the road tomorrow morning, headed for 10 days on the road to the Carolinas. We are at that point of our lives where it's time to start looking for that landing spot. I don't like the term retirement, but because I'm never going to retire, but you know, that last investment, you see what I'm saying? So we're just taking our time over the next few years, trying out different states, and we drive to them. We decided to do that instead of flying in, so that we kind of immerse ourselves, if you will, inside the culture. So if you have any recommendations, we want dry, warm, and on the water. There you go. So Petey the Pride Bear and I had to have a talk this morning because he was like in the corner crying. I was like, what's wrong with you? We just got up. What are you crying about? He goes, because today's the last day of Pride Day and you're going to put me in that prop thing under your desk. I don't know how you even knew about that, but he's right. It's down there. So we talked about it, and I think I'm going to let him stay up top and be a part here all the time. And you know why? Because he told me, he asked me rather, are you only proud of me in the month of June? And I said, no. So he's going to be here. I say that all the time. You know, those bell ringers, Salvation Army and stuff at Christmas. It always sticks in my mind how, well, what happens to those same people in June? who's ringing the bell for them then? Think about that. Let it sit in there for just a second. Anyway, today is a very different show. It is a very special show. The guest today is just us. It's you and I. I felt, because I'm going on hiatus tomorrow, I only do it twice a year. I'll be involved with the shows because I've pre-recorded them, but they will seem like they're live. Magic of TV. And but I will be there interacting in the comments with you guys. So I'm really excited today to just have some time with you to kind of catch up with each other. I wanted to tell you because I don't feel like I when I'm interviewing people every day, that I take the time to really thank you guys. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Just getting ready over the last month for this trip and just even thinking about retirement home and, with the person that is the most special thing in the universe to me, my husband, Brian. And it wasn't so long ago in my life where not only did I not believe I would ever live to the point where something like a retirement home would even be factored in. I didn't think I'd live that long. I didn't think that way about riding into the sunset with my everything, because I had been groomed by all kinds of outside forces to believe that kind of happiness didn't happen to people like me. And so it's just amazing, you guys, how when you really, the smallest things, the clues that are left, if you will, inside our everyday lives from living our everyday lives. What I mean by that is how it makes me feel, just simple thoughts of getting ready to go and just the process of this search and what it really means. And when you envision, yourself 20 years from now, sitting on your wraparound porch, or in my case, the bed and breakfast that I want when I retire from this, to still have great conversations with people around the family table, and to be able to still do all the things that I've always loved to do, event planning, and I have a little event space attached to it, and Brian can have his little knick-knack shop in there. So we've thought about those things, and I know you do too, because we always think in advance regarding those things that mean so very much to us. But there was a time not so long ago where you hear me talk about, and we're going to look at something today that speaks to that, about that assassin, that small little word that makes us think it is a small little word when it is really, in my opinion, the John Wayne Gacy of vocabulary. It is a dream killer. It definitely is. And I mean the word TOO. Remember when we used to believe that we were too poor, that we were too uneducated, that we were too fat, we were too unattractive, we had too much baggage, we had too many wounds, we were too damaged. Do you remember that? I hope it's a memory. And sooner than later, I pray it becomes a distant memory. Bella Purpose right there. You all know what that means, so I'm not even going to go there. But because she's under contract, let me just get this out of the way. She's here. Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, my sidekick, my everything. In my opinion, she is my version of Ed McMahon. Happy? Cheers. I'm kidding. She knows it. So anyway, here's what I wanted to talk about today. First of all, to thank all of you. I don't think we take time. Well, think about it. How much time do we take to call people that mean the world to us at least once a week or whenever, on that same day or whatever? Brian does that with his parents every Sunday, and I love that. Just to tell them that we love them, your best friend, your children, whomever. And also, so that's what this is all about. I really needed to do this. I apologize for being so negligent about letting you all know how important you are to me. So I wanted to show you guys, because we share in each other's journeys. You pour into mine, I pour into yours, I hope, and together, because of that promise, where two or more of us comes together, wonderful things will happen. I just want you guys, I feel kind of bad because I feel like I've dropped the ball, maybe, not encouraging you enough to let you know that, hey, everything you may say about me or people like me or someone is saying about you, and I'm saying it about each of you right now. All the wonderful things you leave in the comments and the way you show up and put your life on hold because you trust this space. It's just really special, and you need to know what you are helping to come to fruition in this world. So just a little update on some things that are happening within the brand and within my life. Next month, tomorrow, next month. On the 4th of July, I'll be 59 years old. And whoa. Oh my goodness. What is this? I just feel so grateful right now in this moment. Oh my God, what is this? This can't happen here. I'm sorry. I'm just so grateful. I'm so very grateful. I'm sorry. I promise I didn't know this was going to happen. This is emotion that is just the best ever. Don't get it twisted. This is not woo-hoo, something's wrong. This is woo-hoo. Wow, what right feels like. Again, I find myself in one of those positions where there aren't words to describe how truly grateful I am to be alive. How many of us thought we would never get to this point in our lives, 2021? How many of us worried about that just in the last year? But there are those of us who have had that thing chasing us over our shoulder most, if not all, of our journey. And so, this is the thing I'm talking about. When you come together and the promise is fulfilled where two or more come together, these kind of things await us, where we get to say, like, how am I feeling this? I don't feel worthy a lot of the time, but because you all stand beside each other and me and allow me to stand beside you, it really is important to me to let you know that this is such a wonderful time in my journey because of you all. Seriously, that I get up and I feel like I'm not alone. Brian and I were kind of giggling last night because I was telling him about the time when, we were just making dinner and we talked about holidays or something. And I said, boy, I remember that time in the heat of my addiction in Phoenix, Arizona, in that double wide trailer with 4 other addicts. And we had screwed up all our money. And it was Christmas Eve. We started partying. And Christmas Day, we literally sat around a table and we were grateful, but we were only eating condiments. I know. A plate with a spoonful of relish, a squirt of mustard, a squirt of ketchup. That's what we had. And when that came back rushing into my mind just last night, again, I was stopped dead in my tracks with gratitude just from looking at something being prepared on a stove and going back to that place where I thought I was lost. So I'm just telling you guys, I can do nothing without your constant support. I am nothing without proof, social proof that there is a team of us out here making a difference in this world. So I wanted to tell you that. I'm good now. I'm getting back. What was that? Anyway, I want to let you guys know I'm so excited because of you all. Next month, this very magazine that my wonderful friend Nick Valentine graces the cover of the current issue, and that will be me there at mid-July. Really grateful. At my 59th birthday, it's a July issue. I'm born on the 4th of July. Really excited. I'm so excited that this Bathrobe Moments has just got a 2-year contract with Heart of Hollywood magazine. They want us on the inside back cover of their glossy tabletop magazine that comes out once a quarter. I'll let you guys know how to get your hands on that when I come back from hiatus. And just things like that and it's not the picture and that stuff, but it's this little spot down at the bottom where I get to leave a message from my heart and do this, kind of like what I'm doing right now. That sometimes I don't ever want to be that kind of an influencer where people can't just reach me on Messenger, or I forget to do things like this. And I don't think any of us should. So that's exciting. I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about Brian and I will be going to Las Vegas next month, where the Star Trek convention will be going on, and I will be speaking twice and hosting a VIP celebrity party with Gays in Space. So I'm so excited, get to meet all the people that have played all the roles that are still alive on the television and movie versions of all of the Star Trek things. And that's thanks to this guy right here with his mouth open, Dan Devey. God bless you. Thank you so much for believing in me and supporting me. And now I wanted to share something with you guys, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. I hope most of you by now have had an opportunity to go over and enjoy the gift that awaits you. It's pinned to the top of the Lauren Harris Facebook page. I'm speaking of my masterclass, The Power of Purpose. And I've shown some clips from that from time to time. But because I'm so grateful today as I come up to this 59th marker in a journey that I didn't really appreciate until I was in the fives, that's when I started investing my energies into living, into healing, and took that power away from the investment or the gamble. I was gambling with killing myself, because when we sit down to the table of purpose, we sit in either one of two chairs. We either sit where the gambler sits, and it's an all or nothing mindset. It always has been for me, all or nothing. And that's why people end up considering suicide, because it's that all or nothing. But when you consider suicide, it's because you're sitting in the gambler's chair. And all or nothing means that, craps, whatever, busted, done. The investor's chair is different though, because, an investor knows that it's patience, and they wait, and they look at every opportunity before they throw a penny into it. They look at it from top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner. And why is that so important? That's important because in my experience, when I do that, I have acknowledged greater than and said, I need you as much as you need me. And so it then walks before me, stands beside me, and covers the rear behind me. So I wanted to share with you guys a few minutes of one of the things from the masterclass, and then talk with you about it, get your comments and responses, see how you feel about your origin story, and a few other things. So I'm going to do my best at getting this up. I hope I can. I have it pulled up, but after this, let's see, would it be? Yes, here. Okay, let's take a look. Wow. Ooh. Where it all began. Well, the great thing for no matter who you are or where you are, all of our stories begin with either in the beginning or once upon a time. And for me, my story began pretty much, and this is how it was referred to for quite a while, a backdoor deal. I remember when my mother, who was the only mother I'd ever known, I didn't know that she was not my birth mother. I looked like this family. I'd been there since I was just a couple weeks old. No one had ever told me. I always wondered why there were no pictures of me. To this day, I've only seen 3 pictures, and they start at around 4 years old. No baby pictures. If you lined up 10 baby pictures of little African-American boys, I wouldn't know if I was one of them or not. So my story started with a woman, Lucille, my birth mother, who had moved from Arkansas with 4 other children. I wasn't conceived yet, to get away from a toxic relationship, a husband that was abusive. And she had also found out that he was married to 3 other women at the same time. She made 4. So when she migrated with 4 other women, escaping the same type of situation from Arkansas to Michigan, where there was a lot of factory work available at the time, she came, and our father, my siblings and I, my biological siblings, have the same mother, the same father. However, they were divorced. And he would come through as an over-the-road truck driver and stop and, bring things to the other kids and whatnot. And this particular night, and my mother went to her grave not even knowing that I knew this story. My eldest brother, Charles, who's since passed, after, we had the big thing where everybody flew in or drove in or however to meet me after I found them after 32 years, came back and told me the story about how one night our father came like he did, and he would park his 18-wheeler at the corner. You could still hear it running because he wouldn't turn it off. He goes, but this night I heard a bunch of ruckus downstairs. We were all in bed, and I heard glass break, and I went down after I heard the front door shut. And I found our mom on the floor. She had been beaten. Her clothes were ripped, and the room was just torn up. And he goes, so I'm sure you get the picture, Lauren. 9 months later, you came. And so I know a lot of people would say, oh my goodness, that goes from bad to worse. But not really. Not really. My mother contracted pneumonia not long after she returned home from the hospital after delivering me. And while she was there the first time, a nurse, who was my second mom, the one I lived with until she passed away, had said to her, why don't you let me help you? You got 4 kids. You don't want to live in the projects. You don't want to go on welfare. You don't have a car. You're looking for a job, and you have a newborn. Why don't you let me take him home and take care of him until you get on your feet? And my mom said no originally and took me home. But then when she contracted pneumonia and they picked her up in an ambulance, of course they took me with her because I'm a newborn. So she goes back and she starts getting worked on again by my second mother, Ada. So Lucille acquiesced and said, okay. And I think she told me that they agreed on like 2 months. Well, 2 months came and went. 3 months came and went. And then my mom, Lucille, my original, my Eve, she said, I paid a lady $25 to drive me to the town where you were. And when we got there, she no longer worked at the hospital, and she was no longer at that address. So, unconditional love is a powerful force. We all know that, or I hope we are. And I don't blame my mother, 1 or 2, or the other 20, as far as that goes, for anything, because I know now that each person in my life plays a specific role in my journey. But what it did do was, she died, Ada, my second mom, just unexpectedly. I was the only kid in that family, and the youngest in both families. So I was the only one still living at home. But there was no safety net, if you will, So when she passed away, I'll never forget it. It was 3 days after her funeral, and we still had quite a bit of family there. And, they were all crowded around in the living room and talking, and the doorbell rang. It was around 10 o'clock in the morning. And as soon as the doorbell rang, everyone stopped talking, and they looked at me. And I'm like, what? In walks my mom's best friend, who was a social worker, who was the only person, other than family members, that my mom had confided the real story about who I was. And this woman, she walked in, and I recognized her. I was like, what's she doing here? She goes, oh, I'm here on official business. She was in a state car. I remember it was gold with the emblems of the state of Michigan on both doors. And she goes, here's the trash bag. Ooh. You're not Larry Dixon. Your name is Lauren Harris. You were never adopted. And I'm going, adopted? Who said anything about adopted? She goes, you were never adopted. And so now you are officially a ward of the state. I've got a few more stops this morning. So I need you to
hurry up and get packed, whatever you can put in this bag. We need to leave in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, I remember going into my bedroom and I didn't know what to do, what to pack. Because in my mind, all I was thinking was, what about my best friend, Scott? What about my dog? What about Cub Scouts? What about? So I decided to take one of everything. I took my favorite book, my favorite pair of shoes, my favorite pant, and we were just about to leave. And I heard that voice that has become everything to me.
Yes.
40-some years later.
Yeah.
Say to me, go back and go in your mom's bathroom and get her hand towel. And I did, because I always used to love to smell her hand towel because it smelled like triple lanolin lotion. And so I grabbed it and I threw it in my plastic bag. And little did I know how important that move was going to be. That is when I began to learn the power of time travel through memory and through experience. That was when I began to understand that nothing happens by mistake and everything always happens on purpose. With purpose.
Oh, oof. Boy. I'm on some kind of an obstacle course. That's hold on, let me get rid of that. That's how I feel when greater than is reminding us why we've been exercising, why we've been stretching, why we've been in training, why we have to sacrifice fun for discipline, why we have to follow the 4 agreements and question everything about ourselves as far as being weak and whatever, when we're following the instructions of being impeccable with our words, when we're following the instruction to not take things personally, when we're following the instruction to not make assumptions, and finally when we are given the charge to always do our best. It's so much easier when everything is feeling at least manageable. But it's in those times where, and you all know what I'm talking about, when we have felt invisible. And you can take that even one step, one layer closer to the heart, which is invisible by the people who profess to be closest to us. A spouse, children, siblings, family. And I remember the day, I'll never forget it. I was in the jacuzzi at 40 North Apartments in Phoenix, Arizona. And my good friend then, she was the mentor placed in my life, and I didn't know it at the time, but I do now. Her name was DJ. And she was a composer. She composed music for symphonies around the country. So she went from one state to the next for different seasons to work on. The one she was working on then was about, there were 9 different movements all about the planets, because they hadn't gotten that other one yet. And anyway, I was talking about a lot of the same stuff. And I remind you, I had not found my birth family at that point, but I was already looking for them here and in here. And I think I was saying how I was on the fence about maybe abandoning that mission, because it seemed like it was causing a lot of strife in my adoptive family. I'm contemplating whether I should even say this next thing or not. The truth. I'll just say this: if people don't want to repeat it, they shouldn't do it. I mean, we should never apologize about being transparent about the truth, right? But it happened. And so it too, when you hear it, you're going to say, what horrible person would say that? But those horrible things led me to that line where I looked down one day and there was a gift called The Key to Reinventing Blame, a little pamphlet. And I picked it up and I read it. And I really learned how to forgive then. And that was what landed me in People magazine as the first person to have a company in the world to do apologies for people. But that's how it got me there. It got me there through those daggers where people did or said things that at the time felt through my spirit and soul that it was definitely unforgivable and I was okay to not forgive. At that point in my life, if I were to connect myself with any characters from television, I was modeling everything I did on what I learned from Victor Newman on Young and the Restless. And and Alexis Colby Carrington from Dynasty. So in other words, I had a machete and I was just going to chop my way through life. Get in my way, I'll cut you off at the knees. If that doesn't work, lop off your head. I'm not coming back to look at the mess or anything because the world owes me. That's how I felt. But the part about that mindset that nothing tells you, that thing about, macheting my way through, was that every time I thought I was chopping someone else, I was nicking away at myself, almost like using a potato peeler, peeling off skins of integrity, peeling off the skin of character, peeling off the skin of being of service and all the things that create the circle and complete the circle, because nothing can happen without being selfless, unconditional, being of service. It must go out if it is to come back in. Just like in order to pick something new up, you must decide what you have to give up to make room for it. So if you're going to pick something up, before you reach for it, go through all of the stages of what you laid down, how you came to that decision, what you did with it after you evicted it, and what rules have you posted in your contract with what is greater than to let you know that if this thing should try to come through another door or lull me back into complacency or put me to sleep in a way to latch back on, I'm giving you permission to put me through the obstacle course, to sharpen my sword, to make that part of my heart muscle, my soul muscle, more nimble and flexible. Because without flexibility, we cannot have unconditionality. Without flexibility, we cannot have room for forgiveness. Without flexibility, there is no way to set boundaries and enforce them. So a lot of that started, and I'm just talking to anyone today, everyone today. Why? Because, hey, this is what happened. I really was going to bring someone else in today, and it wasn't meant to be. I didn't question it. So I'm behind the screen. I know you see my eyes. I probably look like, what is he doing? Well, I'm going in because I'm trying to find something else okay, I did. So I'm doing two things at once. So I apologize for that, but we're here together. So this next piece is shorter, but still powerful. And I want you guys to understand this. Some of you probably know this, some of you don't. The day when, since this masterclass was released and whatnot, the very first day when I was watching it alone, Greater Than spoke to me. And it's just amazing, you guys. I pray for this for every one of you. I pray for this for everyone in the world, to be honest with you. Find that thing, search for that thing. It will find you. When like if you're going to manifest, don't manifest money, manifest abundance. So it covers everything. It covers more to give to people, more joy, more love, more everything, more calmness, more everything. It makes your weaknesses stronger and it strengthens your strengths. Right? So see, I always move from the lazy man perspective and the greedy man perspective. Seriously, because when it comes to purpose and things that are going to help assist and elevate and propel the mission that we were sitting here, our souls came here to accomplish, it's all good in there. Because that's why we stay within integrity. We stay within the boundaries. That's why principles cannot be broken, but we can break ourselves against them. You see what I mean? So all this stuff, I know it sounds like, but I'm also telling you at the beginning of this broadcast today, you saw something. And it is not what, when people I saw Sharon McQueen say, I want to reach out, I want to hug you, and I get it. But I want you to know, I want you guys to understand, I'll take those hugs. I'll take that support. I'll take that unconditional love. Pour it on me because I want to pour it with mine on someone or something else, to let them feel what we're feeling. But what it really was just the frequency that comes from each of you. We don't even have to be connected through Zoom. Just the fact that you are in my space, in my world, and I am in yours. We are in each other's. That's why it is the power of we and never the power of me. Okay? So I wanted to tell you guys, show you a little bit about the very first place I was sent to start ripping the masks off of those interlopers, those intruders inside my narrative world. They're in there too. You've heard me say that I see words three-dimensionally. I really do. They're like block letters, script letters, different fonts, different colors, and they just move around. And that's why I say my content comes through me, just like on this pen, and not from me. It really does. I'm never going to take credit for something that comes out. And I ain't trying to get squished like a bug. I'm just kidding. Greater than would never do that. But there's this reverence thing. It's so powerful. You can't deny it inside purpose. If you feel like you should shield yourself because you're not worthy. How? Me? This dirty thing? How? No, this is too much. See, there it is. There's the word. Did you see? Did you see that? I was really in the moment, and it still jumped it too. Let me tell you something right here, and you're going to hear. Well, let me shut up because I'll tell you the whole thing. It won't have a need to show you. So I'm just going to take a look at this. I'm taking you to the place where I was introduced to the John Wayne Gacy of dreams. This three-letter word has killed more dreams in this world than any other three-letter word. Take a look. Okay, I told you I was not good at this. So wait a minute. I got to do something back here. So I have to go here. I count out loud when I am counting, and I count on my fingers. I do, and it's just a thing. I've always done it. And so I talk to myself, even if you're here, and just hope you're not here when I start answering. That's what you don't want to see. Okay, so I'm looking for what I've pulled up. Now, it worked before. Bear with me. Okay, think. I'm here. Okay, I'm back. See that? I clicked leave studio. Never done that in all the time I've been on here. See what I'm saying? You know what I do? I don't get pissed off about that. Like, dang it, everybody's watching. That's ego. Put it out of the way. Ain't got nothing to do with that. You all know I already say I'm not techie. That's why it's good to put it all out there, right? So I look at it like this. That tells me somebody here today, I hope it's all of you, all of us, get reminded about this one. Because this little sucker, boy, let me tell you, you'll see if I can. Let me just breathe. Okay, so first of all, I got too much stuff open up here. I was doing some production work this morning before coming on with you guys. Now, I already have, let me see, is that it? Yes, that's it. So, okay, so how did I do it? Quick question. See, there I go. You guys are hearing the process. Is that it? Talk amongst yourselves real quick. I guess I have to do this. I'm gonna do that. Okay, and I am going to do this. Is it there now? Don't worry, it'll be worth it. I promise. Wait a minute. Oh, I think I know. You know what I'm getting ready to do? Thank you. Thank you for the download. Thank you for the download. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to commercial really quick just for one, and I know what to do. And when we come back, get ready. Seriously, I'm going to introduce you to the John Wayne Gacy of dreams. We'll be back in just 1 minute. Don't go away. I know I say that all the time, but I really mean it.
Well, hello and welcome, everybody. Hey, today is an amazing
Right.
So that's important. And I love what you said. You know, this too shall pass, people. It's not permanent. Whatever's going on.
Okay, I'm back. I need one more minute. Seriously. Well, I'm almost there. I'm not going. See, let me stop right here. Time out. Whenever you ever had something that was really important to you, and you an appointment or something that you knew was a linchpin to an entire experience, and it seems like everything that can go wrong gets in the way to keep you from, you're like, I'll just cancel, do it something like that. No. When this happens in my world, you know what I do? I go, wait a minute. Hey, what is it that you're so afraid will happen, negativity, that you gonna do all of this to try to stop it? I'm like a pit bull on it. You'll walk over, Cletus, but you'll crawl back. 1 minute. We'll be right back. Petey and I are doing a happy dance because I got it. Told you. Okay, so sit back. This is a short one, but pay close attention and think about this one. Think about this one. If you receive nothing else from today's show, and I had to pick one thing out that you had no choice about, you had to, I had to like hide it somewhere on your, you know, in your world until you were ready for it or whatever, I would do it. I would put it in there. This would be the one I would choose. This would be the nugget. So without further ado, have I built up enough anticipation? This is what I do when people come to dinner, by the way. Here's a good tip. Put it in your pocket. You know, when you're nervous about people not liking your food and stuff, little trick I learned. If you invite them for dinner at 7, put on at 7:30 some garlic, green pepper, and onion in a saute pan with some extra virgin olive oil. It doesn't even have to be in any of the dishes where they can't see it. By 7:45, everybody is so starving from that smell. Not only is it a little late with dinner, you got to hold it, put that on. You could throw an army boot on the table for dinner and they're going to tear it up. So telling you, that's what I always do. So here I have built the anticipation and I pray that you receive. Here we go. I got it this time. Okay, there's that. And I'm clicking there. I'm getting out of here. Yeah, what I mean about when I say I had invested in killing myself, and literally, I mean, by this point in my life, in my mid-20s, you know, I'd walked away from a record deal because I didn't feel worthy. After the People magazine and Apology Accepted and all of that, that didn't stop me from walking into what would become a 14-year drug addiction. That did not stop me from, you know, all that comes with that, because I still thought it was too good to be true. What happened was, and this is a great thing, you might want to write it down. All I did was I simply stopped using 3 letters, one word that is comprised of 3 letters, in the wrong place. I had been using TOO, not where it was intended, at the end of a sentence or a phrase where it would mean being of service. Hey, do you want some too? Oh, there's room for you too, which is always an invitation. It is being of service. But I had been living by moving that word either to the middle or the front. Oh, it's too hard. I'm too ugly. I'm too poor. It's too much. It's too soon. It's too late. And it stopped being an inclusive. It stopped adding and increasing. And it began showing its face as a serial killer, because it slayed all my dreams. All of them, even when they had already manifested, which for a lot of people is the hard part. You know, look at affirmations and vision boards. It's not locked down. You can have all that and it still not work. I didn't realize that until I read an article about what they were calling at the time the 27 Club out in Hollywood. A lot of celebrities and stars that were John Belushi, and now Amy Winehouse, Heath Ledger. A lot of people would just, they'd get there, what people dream of at 27, and then boom, they're gone. And what is greater than, didn't want that to happen with me. Thank God, because I'm still here. And that's what it was. I just decided to, well, actually I didn't decide. I chose. I chose and returned because it was a choice. It boiled down to choice, and there are only 2. The choices I make and the ones I don't. And I decided then to choose to eradicate words that deceive from my vocabulary, starting with TOO. And today, I think at last count, I have about 5,000 words that deceive that I don't use. And if I do this, so that I let whatever is out there that used it and controlled it, you know, Geppetto and I was Pinocchio, dancing around for all those decades. I just refuse to use these words anymore. Sure is weird, or man, that's lucky. Too good to be true. Whatever. All those things. That's as good as hell. Really? You know, when I started listening to myself, shooting them out all over my own world, I started seeing them when they were coming from other places into my world. And suddenly, I was rewriting my narrative. And I'm here today because of that. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to get something. I'm going to, oh shoot. Where are you guys? Okay. Wait a minute, let me get that off the screen. I got all that stuff up there. Boy. That. Oh, okay. I brought it in a different way. Listen, right now in the comment section, for those of you, I want to make it easy. So I was busy over there on my other page. I'm dropping, it looks like a big old link, but if you click it, it'll take you over You can have access for whenever you like. It's completely free of charge. It's my gift to you through the Elevate platform. Please go in, and if you want to watch them individually, I'd be nice if you could leave a review, but it's not mandatory. But it is there. It is a gift. It is a way to say thank you. It is a way. I am telling you, why are all these little nougats so important to me? Because after this masterclass, I think I mentioned this the other day, when God laid every single time I had to get in this car, as me, and get from point A to point B, because it was a part of the master plan, right? It's part of the master plan. I broke down many times. I came out and my vehicle was on blocks. Somebody cut off the muffler, no windshield wipers and torrential down. You name it. We've all been through it. Same vehicle, a myriad of different challenges with the vehicle. But when you are shown all of those GPS grids of every day, when I got to it was the shortest module. I think it's 3 minutes and 12 seconds inside the 13 modules. And I saw greater than gave me a perspective looking down, like I was on the top of the Empire State Building or something. And I was able to look down through all of those, the GPS on a car screen, like in your dash, right? When it shows, when it's going to stop, it's red. And when they're slowing down, it's yellow. And you can see all the streets and signs. Well, it's like that, but for different days and situations and experiences throughout the years. I could see it all like a super highway, every single one. And I heard greater than say to me, like it's as if they were looking over my shoulder, whispering. And they said, see it? Look at that, Lauren. Look at how many twists and turns. Look at all the places you dared to go. It took 47 years for us to get through all of that, just so that we could have these 3 minutes and 12 seconds to leave this world with. And it boils down to this. At any time, in any place, and anywhere, all you have to do to have everything within your purpose that was created for you on purpose, for you to use with purpose, is to treat your life like a story. Okay, I'm going to use my good friend Guy, his book. And when you're ready, remember when we had story time with teachers, like 2nd, 3rd grade, and you'd be Indian style sitting in an arc with rows, and the teacher would be sitting on a chair, and they'd read, and they'd get to that special part of the story where the pictures were. I was that kid who was like ready to burst by then. Show it to me. Show it to me. Why? Because I wanted to see if the pictures, the illustrations within the book even lined up, or did I get it wrong as far as what I saw as the story was unfolding before my eyes. And that's how it is with purpose and greater than. All we have to do is acknowledge our story from the beginning, or once upon a time, but where it began when we began. It didn't begin at 22. I hear a lot of people say, my story begins at 30. No, it doesn't. You'd be in the Smithsonian for being the oldest person to come out of the womb. Right. No, your story began, believe it or not, before you even got here. But anyway, if you need a real definitive starting spot, it was the minute you took your first breath, right? So the journey on this plane begins there and ends when you have your last. But that's the front was when that first breath happened. That's the front cover. The last one will give you the back cover. It's what you do between those dates, like they say on the gravestone. It's that dash in between. It's the story, but don't forget about the pictures, because all the way through the story, what it's greater than is going to count on you to go, okay, that chapter's done, we're up to this point. So you know what it is because you have a contract, a covenant, which is a bond, an agreement. Okay, that's why God, higher than that religion stuff is like, no, it's a contract between mutually respective people, entities, spirits, souls, you name it, you call it, it's yours. As long as it works, and this will work. You look at it all and you say, okay, here's what I need to do what I need and to have what I want. Put need before want all the time. Want is a wish list, and it's okay. But the need part is what will provide you the plan to get you there. So when you have it down and you see it, that's why your message has to be concise. That's why you have to keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on in your life. You got to know at all times who is sitting in that front row of your life, because you're on stage every moment of your life and you can only see the front row because there's always a spotlight on us, right? So know who's sitting there. But when you get to that point, you say, here's what I need. And when you give me what I've asked, here's what I'm going to do with it. And watch what happens. That's why I have the bell purpose, to keep me vested in everything with purpose. Be impeccable with your word, always do your best. That's why I have the wall of purpose. Why? Because it's great to dream about tomorrow. It's the reason the sun rises. It's the reason the heartbeat goes up first when they bring someone back. The thing goes up, it doesn't go down. This life is up and forward, trajectory. That's what our souls are all about. Going and keep going. So that's why that's there, because everything behind me and many other blessings, manifestations, started over there. Or did they? On the wall of purpose. All those. Oh, you just walked on the TV set. Thank you, waitress Brian. I did not plan that. I'll hear about it later. So if you want, look at the things that you have behind you, the things that you've placed around to remind you of. That is the time travel known as remembering. It is remembering yourself to those moments. Nothing was ever bad. Every trauma door has a doggy door known as a blessing door. The reason it didn't feel the same or look the same at the time was because blessings are born into the process of becoming, because they are there to provide the surfboard for us to ride out of every storm. I ain't never used that one before, y'all. That came out right here, just now. Writing it down, it's going up on the wall of purpose. Do things with purpose. Know yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and whatever you need to call what is greater than. That is the reason I've recently started referring to it, not as higher power. I worked my way. When I grew up, it was God, 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 right? Then Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And that's fine. But then it became higher power. Spiritualism started taking the place of organized religion. Then it became a source. It's been spirit. It's been everything that it needed to be at the time for me to stay vested in what I did not know or fully understand. And that will be the same plan all the way to whatever's next and through whatever's next, I'm sure. So greater than for me, why do I use that? Because when I look at a plant, when I look at anything with a life force, the wind, the breeze, and I start appreciating, I see green on the trees. It's brighter today. The breeze and the wind caresses in a way it never has before. These sort of things are available to all of us. And today I just wanted to come in and thank you all. As we move out on the roads tomorrow, please pray for us, for traveling mercies, and that we'll be safe on the road, that the people that we meet will pour into us and will allow us to pour into them, and be grateful for each other. I wanted you to leave here today knowing everything I showed you, everything you see, everything you ever see in social media that Lauren's doing this or going there, know that you helped to book passage for me to that very place. And you're doing it for millions of people every day. And the best part is you don't even have to know about it. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep being who you are. I will see you all. Well, I'll see you every day up until we come back, but not this coming Monday, but a week from that, I will be back in this chair, God willing, and I'll meet you out front on the front porch for our next installment of Bathrobe Moments. In the meantime, please get out and live the very best life you can. Live the very best version of yourself. And remember, like I always say, all you have to do to live fully within purpose is be vested into leaving each person in each situation you encounter at any given moment better than the way you found it. I'll see you guys. Thank you so much for being everything I need to be everything I am. God bless you, and I love you.
your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.